Alright, food for thoughts. This one just dawned on me. I'm reading right now my child development, and got to a section about in vitro fertilization, and it kind of touched on an interesting barrier of abortion I'm thinking about. Thought experiment. Suppose it to be the case that parent A, he's the father, and parent B, she's the mother, are trying to have a baby, doing this in vitro fertilization, basically obtaining a couple, samples of ovums from the mother, the egg, and obtaining a couple of sperm cells, mature sperm cells from the guy, the spermatozoa, whatever it's called. Put it in a test tube and create a baby. Now, imagine the ethical implications involved for the doctor if he messed up. Suppose it to be the case that you were doing the same process with your wife or your girlfriend, this in vitro fertilization process, and during the lab test tubing time to create this baby inside of the tube, all of a sudden the doctor messes up from the labeling of the tubes, and he accidentally puts Mother A's ovum, her egg cells, into the jar where your wife's egg cells are supposed to be. So your sperm mixes with some other stranger, and all of a sudden it produces a baby. And the scientist is aware of all this now because he has to obviously come up with his own means to, I don't know, make peace with himself, let alone the two people he screwed up. So, would abortion be the case in such a scenario? This isn't rape, mind you. This is mess up, basically, on the doctor, an external person's doing. So, I mean, this is just food for thought, but, I mean, would abortion, I know there will be some very, very extreme perspectives to the extent that abortion is acceptable never, and so it would be easy to find an answer like that, and then some that are a little bit more moderate and some very liberal. So I'm assuming to get a spectrum of replies on this. But okay, for you moderates, where it may be a little bit more thought-provoking towards how you would apply this ethic, how would abortion even be a viable option at this point? After all, this is it's still a life, but it is, and pardon the term, somewhat of a mistake on the doctor's part, because now you are, of course there are options available after, there's adoption, there's, you could send the baby, and you could still father it, as it were, but nonetheless, the responsibility, it just seems an ethical issue in itself, because this other person is a stranger, and would you really want to have a baby with somebody you know nothing about, and all of a sudden show up and say, hey, you know what, I think the doctor messed up, we have a kid, my name's David. It would seem to me that, that's just not the way you would want your child either to grow up thinking that, wow, the doctor messed up on me, huh? Maybe if the kid grew up a little humorous, that may be something fun to spill out about in a social gathering or something, but nonetheless, it is still a questionable consideration towards the kid's psychology as he matures, as he finds out how he was created and, what the implications were. So, would abortion be a viable option in such a scenario? Hit me up.